Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
Good evening. I'm Aya Bazzi, and you are watching MediaPlex News Now. Now let's join Sarah Werstein from Crime Stoppers with this week's updates.
The Windsor Police Service is investigating a suspicious fire at a restaurant in the 1800 block of Wyandotte Street East that occurred on Thursday, October 27th at approximately 4:30 a.m. Damage to the business is estimated to be close to $2 million. The restaurant has been the target of 2 separate break-ins in recent months. On July 3rd, it was reported that someone had broken into the business and stole money and alcohol. Another incident took place on October 22nd. Anyone with information on any of these crimes is asked to contact the Windsor Police Service Arson Unit or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 519-258-TIPS or leave a tip online at catchcrooks.com. I'm Police Coordinator Sarah Werstein.
Let's head outside where Morgan Hurt is standing by with a look at our current weather conditions. Morgan, what is it we need to know?
Well, if you're outside, you already know it's nice, but you mostly need to know to push back your clocks this Sunday morning. So fall back and get an extra hour of sleep. I'll be back later with your 3-day forecast. Back to you, Aya.
Mental health is an important part of post-secondary education. Tyler Clapp tells us more.
While post-secondary school can be difficult, students also have the challenge of maintaining their mental health. The Canadian Alliance of Student Associations reported that 3/4 of post-secondary students had negative mental health during the 2021 to 2022 school year. Haley Wilson is currently studying to be a social worker at the University of Windsor. She said managing her responsibilities can create difficulties.
Probably say the biggest challenge to my mental health as a student is probably burnout, as well as just trying to balance school, work, social life, me time. Sometimes that can get in the way and I feel like I'm not dedicating enough time to myself.
Aside from these difficulties at the individual level, there are also issues that surround getting help. Dr. Corey Saunders is a local neuropsychologist experienced in working with children and adults. He said the biggest obstacle to improving student mental health is ability to access support.
How many students, have the option to go and either, pay out of pocket for it for sure. But even with that, like students' insurance coverage, if it's not great, and for most students it isn't, that maybe is not even an option.
With students experiencing challenges, the importance of maintaining mental health may only grow as time goes on. I'm Tyler Clapp for MediaPlex News.
In today's economy, many of us are looking for bargains, and that's where Mom to Mom comes in. Rawad Kansoon reports.
Well, are you tired of paying retail for something they will quickly grow out? Mom-to-mom resales are a great way to control your budget when you are providing a wardrobe for children who are growing fast. Moms are trying to save cash, especially in a very tight economy.
Rather than paying full price for items, they can come to a sale like this and get clothing for their children at a fraction of the price that they would retail, which helps them save money to put other places in their household budget.
70 vendors presented their items at low prices at the Fogular Furlan venue last weekend. Thousands of kids' items were available in one-stop shopping. Clothes, toys, books at low prices. Hundreds of parents in Windsor, Essex County have the excitement of saving money for gently used items. In today's economy, things have almost doubled, and parents find difficulties to afford stuff for their children.
Coming to sales like this, the mom-to-mom sale, is a fantastic way to save money. You can get clothes for a few dollars a piece, which means you can clothe your kids, you can buy toys, you can buy books for $1 a piece. This is a fantastic way to save money in this crazy economy we're facing right now.
Most of the people attended the event with their kids to find suitable items at good prices.
And to save money in this economy, sales like the mom-to-mom sale really help out. We can find clothes for $1 a piece, things like that, and your money goes a lot farther.
Mom-to-Mom was created in 2003 with goal in connecting parents in Windsor, Essex County. For MediaPlex News, I am Rawad Kansoon.
There is a new housing development downtown. Kayla Tarnowski covers the story.
Windsor will be seeing its first apartment building that accepts rent in Bitcoin. The Bitcoin building, located just off of Pilisern Park, will be holding a grand opening today. About 35% of the building has already been leased, according to the apartment's Facebook page. The Bitcoin building claims it will run on solar power from 180 solar panels installed on its roof.
The Bitcoin building will be opening at 1 p.m. today. From MediaPlex News, I'm Kayla Tarnowski.
Navigating a new healthcare system can be challenging for newcomers to Canada. As Rawad Kansoon reports, this year's Health and Wellness Expo is helping break down barriers.
The Multicultural Council of Windsor organized a Health and Wellness Expo at Fogular Forlan last week. This expo is a joint venture of community partners for multicultural health for the past 20 years. The event is presented to promote healthy choices and to improve awareness and access to local health and social services for newcomers.
This is incredible. We have over 800 people that are coming through our doors today, and it's important because we're visiting all the different opportunities that we have in Windsor-Essex County. So sharing all the different providers that are in this region and letting everyone know about the services that we have in Windsor-Essex. So it's absolutely important, and it's crucial that we have these events to share this information.
Newcomers received information and assistance on how to file applications and be aware of resources.
It is a great event to get newcomers informed on all the different services that Windsor-Essex offers. We love being a part of it and interacting with members of our community and giving them the opportunity to learn more about what we do at BANA.
Organizers say it was a successful event and are happy to see its return after a 2-year pandemic hiatus. For MediaPlex News, I'm Rawad Kansoon.
Most crops are out of the ground by now, but the downtown Windsor Farmers Market is still going strong well into the fall. Samarjit Singh reports.
Families got the opportunity to trick or treat and try out their different costumes this past weekend at the farmers market. There were more than 40 exhibitors selling items including handcrafted wares, snacks, and more. Children were trick or treated securely while adults browsed for the unique items and gifts. Jeff Denemy is a local vendor.
The Farmers Market's a great event that Steve Green has been putting on for about 10 years or so. It's just moved to Polisher maybe 5 years ago-ish. But yeah, I've seen a huge uptick in people actually coming out to kind of celebrate all your local makers and vendors. And yeah, it gets really busy down here. It's pretty cool.
Chinmay had a booth selling momos.
We did not expect this kind of this kind of an opening. Even last night we were at the Friday night market. We had a good experience there as well. I mean, we are loving it. Yeah. And people are loving it as well.
The next market takes place November 5th from 8 to 1. For MediaPlex News, I'm Samarjit Singh.
The arts are alive and well, even at the Ugly Studio. Jae Tung Lee reports.
This past weekend, at the Ugly Art Studio, was the opening of a local artist as of Mara's solo art exhibition.
Thank you.
Espinosa Galindo, a student from Mexico, who was very interested in the 66 artworks on display by Elsaf.
A friend is a friend of the author, so she told me that will be this event, and I really like art, so I thought that would be a good idea to come here. Well, the meaning of this event was to show people all the paints from this author, give it more promotion, more publicity, more marketing, I don't know the specific word, but it is just showing to the people what this guy can do.
Many of these works of art depict a diverse type of suffering. The exhibition will be on display at the Ugly Studio until November. MJT reporting for MediaPlex News.
Halloween has come and gone, and the Scare House had record numbers pass through the doors. Donna Talkwell reports.
At the corner of McDougall and Shepherd Street is where people go to get an adrenaline rush and maybe even face some of their fears. 14 years of evolution have created a fully indoor, multi-room warehouse where nightmares come to life. These two braved their fears and toured the haunt for the first time.
It was very dark. It was very dark, and the actors were excellent.
The actors are very professional, makeup's phenomenal.
Young Yo enjoyed the experience but wasn't too scared.
It just scared my friends over there because I was in front, so you know.
How scary was it?
Scary.
Really scary.
Like make you scream?
Yep.
A couple of times, yes. Very, very scary.
Catch you off guard.
I haven't had the nerve to go through yet.
It's very dark. Some places, when the light shines in your eyes, it takes a second for your eyes to adjust, but afterwards, you're feeling your way along. You can't tell which way to go.
They did a really good job. This is excellent. I only went through one, and we still have 3 left.
For more information about tickets and showtime, go to their website at scarehousewindsor.com. The final show will be on Halloween night. I'm Donna Tuckwell for MediaPlex News.
It was a door-open event, so we sent Ken Pastushin to just walk right in. Let's watch.
Here I am at the corner of Kildare Road and St. Mary's Gate. It was for the Doors Open Windsor Walkerville Homes tour a couple of weeks ago. The neighborhood was designed as a garden city where streets and houses are built around trees.
What Doors Open means to me is a greater connection for the city of Windsor to its history. The city's growing, but we need to know what direction to go, and we can learn so many lessons from the past right here just walking around in our community.
At the turn of the 20th century, St. Mary's Anglican Church was also a beacon along the Detroit River. The architecture of the clock tower is Gothic. The rectory architecture is Tudor style. Albert Kahn, the architect of Willisted Manor, also designed this home for one of Hiram Walker's grandkids. This colonial Massachusetts-style home also has a coach house for horseless carriages. Imagine touring in a Ford Model T and seeing this Spanish-style stucco home built for Hiram Walker's bookkeeper, or this 1904 Edwardian-style home along Kildare built for the town magistrate. Next door is Cobbles, which was made of fieldstones gathered around the neighborhood. This 10-bedroom house with a balcony has a historic marker. Like many homes in the neighborhood, this one has ironwork fencing and plenty of windows providing natural light for libraries. Albert Kahn designed his home for the town's CIBC bank manager, like many of his town halls. This Jacobean Gamble-style home, also designed by Kahn, was built for the manager of the Walkerville Brewery, another historic marker. Many of Walkerville's homes and buildings were designed by this famed Detroit industrial architect. For the MediaPlex News, I'm Ken Pastushin.
It's time to look at our forecast, so let's go down to Morgan Hurt. Morgan, what does the forecast have in store for us?
Well, Aya, shall we just cancel fall and maybe winter while we're at it? Let's take a look at our 3-day forecast. Wednesday will be sunny and 17. Thursday will be sunny and 18. And Friday, we will see a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 21. So don't put away the sunglasses just yet. Back to you in the studio, Aya.
What was once a popular Windsor stage for local musicians located in Jackson Park has fallen into disarray over the last few decades. But as Madeline Mazak explains, one Facebook group is dedicating itself to resurrecting the old and forgotten structure.
I played on that band shell in 1972, and that's quite a few years ago. Things have really changed. It doesn't look as modern and cleaned up as it was back then, but it's not too bad. We came out on stage, it was our turn to play. We came out on stage and there's a microphone stand over here, one right here, and the band's all ready and set up to play. And I go up to the microphone with my hands on my electric guitar, both hands, and I go, "Hey everybody," and the microphone, it felt like a pair of pliers grabbed my face because I got a shock like you wouldn't believe it, because I was standing in a puddle of water.
Gosh.
And knocked me back, my eyes were watering, and and then we just played.
But everyone was out here because this was the show that ended the summer.
End of the summer for the people that were here, but the end of the summer for the people playing in the bands too.
Yeah.
We went to school 2 days later.
I decided to go to the local history library to learn more. If the band shell once meant so much to so many people, why is it forgotten today? On September 2nd, 1972, Scotty and his band, The Galleon, competed in the Battle of the Bands. Thousands of people weathered the storms that night to watch the competition. Labor Day weekend in Windsor back then meant one thing: the Firefighters Field Day, an annual fundraiser for the Firefighters Benefit Fund. A parade down Olette Avenue ended in Jackson Park for a weekend of celebrations, drawing out thousands of people. But the bandshell we see today is not the original. It is the replica of the original bandshell that, ironically, burnt down in a devastating fire alongside Windsor's grandstand in 1957. I wondered if anyone else in Windsor wanted to see the bandshell restored as well.
My name's Sarah Lestage, and I'm heading the group of individuals looking to have the Jackson Park bandshell repurposed. It was covered in different just trash, refuge from the landscaping that was being done in Jackson Park. I really didn't expect the kind of response that I got with over 1,000 likes in just over a month. I also had people reaching out, asking to volunteer, even just to come clean up the space. Ideally, I'd love to see Jackson Park bandshell brought back to life for public and community use. I'm really optimistic to see this happen.
Having worked at Fog Lounge for almost a year now, I've become familiar with Windsor's music scene. I decided to reach out to some musicians to see what they thought.
My name is Zach Vivier.
I'm the bass player in Hutch.
I'm Sebastian App. I'm the guitar player and lead vocalist in Hutch.
Robbie Survey, the drummer in Hutch.
Is this thing on?
As a musician, you see like a stage and you just see like a potential like instantly, even if it's like run down, you're just like, you know, a coat of paint and this thing's ready to go. Just get a PA and a coat of paint and you're all set.
Yeah,
right?
man, it would be fun, but a little DIY.
Like that park and that area, it's just like screaming for like something cool to happen there. Like, I don't know, like as a band, like it just feels really good to play outside. Like it's kind of like a different feeling and it's really nice. And then like I love watching shows outside. Like we played like the Island Unplugged and everyone has like their own fold-up chairs.
Yeah.
And they just kind of sit around and everyone's having a good time and like something like that could even happen at the bandshell and people would love it. Like growing up, you know, like the older I got, it was like more people just saying that Windsor was like boring and there was nothing to do. And I think we kind of found something to do in the music scene and we're like, oh, like shows are fun and that's something to do. So we never were bored, but like to have a stage and to have like a pretty good like run of events going, I think, you know, people wouldn't really think that anymore. And I think that's why people are excited, is because it's like the potential for something to do.
Yeah, the memories at this stage. I have a few. They're rock and roll show memories. I made a lot of friends. Right here, this is where it starts. You could fit 5,000 people here, and more on the bleachers. There could be 5,000 people viewing an event off the stage.
That would be amazing.
It'd be thrilling.
Windsor International Film Festival is back after 2 years with great movies and documentaries. Many filmmakers came from across the world to share their films. Juwan Jung reports.
One of Windsor City's biggest events, WIP is back. Downtown is filled with bright lights and many people flock to the street to enjoy WIP. Also, in front of cinema, there is excitement on the face of movie lovers waiting for their movie. On the opening day, the documentary film Lisa was screened that examined the tragic incident of Sewol ferry disaster in 2014 that took the lives of about 300 high school students in Korea.
Yeah, it's always an honor to be in a film festival. It was difficult in the beginning because they don't know me. We don't really build any trust.
After the screening, the filmmaker and staff went up the stage and told the background and product process of the film to help understand. In addition, the Q&A session that followed enhances the perfection of the film festival. The participants who volunteer at the film festival is also essential. The faces of volunteers preparing for the perfect event were full of joy as they greet the audience without showing any sign of exhaustion.
After being in COVID for 2 years, I felt really isolated, and I'm a very big people person, so being able to get out again and really communicate with others and see everyone who shares the same interest in film as me has been really fun.
WIP will be held over 10 days until November 7th, and the titles of 311 from 32 countries will appear on the screen. For MediaPlex News, I'm Juhan.
Vincent Georgi is a friend of the Plex, and that makes us a friend of WIF, so we invited him to stop by.
The Windsor International Film Festival is back in person after a 3-year hiatus. In October, Windsor's downtown will welcome filmmakers from all genres of filmmaking. And if previous years are any indication, tens of thousands of people will line up to see films being offered this year. One of the people deciding what we will see this year is Vincent Georgi, Executive Director of WIF. So Vincent, we heard there's some breaking news regarding WIF.
Yes, we're really happy to share publicly that we received $500,000 from the federal government in support of WIF and its giant return post-pandemic, and we're very proud of that. Thank you.
That's wonderful. What is your involvement in the Windsor International Film Festival?
Sure. So I'm the executive director, so I lead all things business affairs. I'm also the chief programmer, so I lead all of the content selection and curation.
Awesome. How long has WIF been around?
It's been around 18 years.
And how long have you been a part of it?
I've been there 13 years. Yeah. The festival's already up and rolling for 5 years before I moved to Windsor.
Very exciting. Tell us a little bit about WIF is and who it's for.
Sure. So we're the Toronto Film Festival's biggest partner for Canada. So we, show films from around the world, about 30 countries, and our goal is really to show films for everybody. We do 4 screens at a time. So maybe be playing a sports film on one screen, and a documentary that'll change your life on another screen, and maybe a horror film on another screen, and then a rom-com on another. It's really meant for everybody.
That's wonderful. How has WIF changed over the years?
It's changed certainly in many ways. I'd say on the technology side, we used to show films on 35 millimeter, and the technology totally changed. So now all of our films are digitally presented. That's a huge change. And also audience. Our audience has grown, and people are coming around actually from around Canada to the festival, and also more from the US. When I first joined, we were selling about 2,500 tickets, and this coming year we expect to sell about 45,000.
Wow, that's a great turnout.
It is.
What does WIF look like this year?
This year, it's our biggest festival ever. We're at 11 days, so it's a longer festival, which we're excited about. Got a few surprises, some major films as well that we'll be announcing shortly, some major titles coming to Windsor, also ahead of theaters.
Yeah, very exciting. What's new and exciting?
I would say overall, I think just the sense of community overall, I think people are really ready for it to be back. The festival hasn't happened since 2019. I think people really miss it. And we ran a drive-in during the past 2 summers, which was actually a lot of fun. But I think people's appetite to return and to connect and have important conversations after some films, I think people are really missing that. So we're excited to have that.
That's wonderful. Is there a film you're most looking forward to showing?
There are many films I'm excited to show. We have 10 nominees for our Canadian Film Prize. It's a prize we give that's $25,000 for the best Canadian film. Any of those 10 films are absolutely fantastic. They're already public. You can check out the website. They're all there. But any of those films are really terrific.
That's awesome. And what's the best part of your job?
Best part of the job is hearing audience reactions to films that they love, that inspires them, that makes them think. I absolutely love that part.
That's wonderful. Thanks so much for your time.
Libraries give us books about history, but as Zachary Bellog tells us, this library has a history of its own. Here's his latest Did You Know?
It's a building that has sat in the heart of Amherstburg for over a century. What is the history behind this historic piece of architecture? I'll tell you in this edition of Did You Know?
The Amherstburg Library was designed by Charles Howard Crane, and it was built from limestone from the local quarry. The library is part of the Carnegie Libraries, which are a series of libraries that were financed by Andrew Carnegie. This exact branch first opened in 1913, and it has been serving the residents of Amherstburg ever since.
According to marshcollection.org, some of the most enthusiastic borrowers were the commissioned and non-commissioned officers of the 89th Regiment stationed at Fort Malden. So pick up a book, and the more you'll know. For MediaPlex News, I'm Zachary Ballog.
The MediaPlex is opening the doors. Come and join us on November 12th. We'll buy the coffee. And finally tonight, here is a look at the MediaPlex from the people who study and work here.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories.
Meeting new people, I'm learning about things that interest me.
Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I find that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been.
I made the greatest decision I could 2 years ago by choosing this program because I have learned so much.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Aya Bazzi, and you've been watching MediaPlex News Now.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.
It's always been my passion to be part of a news team. I love the adrenaline rush of being there when news is breaking. I wanted to learn how to get the story and know how to present it on radio, in print, on television, or the web. I wanted to learn from the best, and I did at St. Clair College.